we are getting Joffrey the flying fuck out of here. I don't know where this road is going to lead. No, it's not. It's not hard. It's not hard at all. I was very happy to get him the fuck out of here.
So, this week on House of Words Podcast, we are talking about obviously getting Joffrey the fuck up out of here.
Hey.
Season 4, episodes 2, 3, 4, and 5. That's what we're rocking with tonight. Or today. So, straight up, first up, Ramsay and Miranda. Her name's Miranda, right?
Yeah, the crazy one that he was with.
His crazy bae. They're fucking crazy. And they're crazy together, and I didn't remember them hunting down old girl in the woods like this previously.
I do. With the hounds.
And that was old girl that was in the room with them, wasn't it?
Yep.
All because Miranda got a little jelly. So, we get Tyrion and Jaime, the dwarf, the cripple, and the mother of madness. That is going to be the name of this episode of the podcast, by the way. Because I really like that title. That should have been the title of this episode. That would have been dope. Or a episode somewhere. Because Cripples, Bastards, and Broken Things was the name of an episode, wasn't it?
Yes, yeah. And you have you definitely spoke on your love of the name of that episode before.
I like names like that. It just makes sense. I see. Bolton's son and his so Ramsay's dad. What the hell is Ramsay's dad's name?
Roose.
Okay. So Roose, all his men are crazy. His son's crazy. He shows his dad what he did to Theon. He shows Theon is now Reek. And at first, he's a little upset because he wanted to keep Theon for a bargaining chip, but now his son is when fucked him up. But then after he lets him shave him, he doesn't cut him. Replay the Color Purple scene.
I put that in my notes too.
You did?
I did. The boy really had him in there like Harpo. And Bruce realized, and he was like, "Oh shit!" I put that in my notes, and then the first thing that I thought rewatching the scene was Friday at the Next when Mike S was like, "Oh shit, you got her training." You got that boy Theon really mentally done.
And slit his throat. So we just got Ramsay, So then his dad gives him a new mission. He tells him he wants him to take back Winterfell or figure out how to get Winterfell. That's the thing.
No, they're trying to get him with Caitlyn.
Oh, well, Caitlyn, that's right.
Yeah.
Varys tells Tyrion that Shay's been spotted, and the word is out that his sister and his dad know who she is, and she needs to get the hell out of Dodge.
Gotta get up out of there, B.
Fortunately, we know later she does not do well with being told where to go and what to do, because she's a hard-headed hoe.
That's funny.
You should just listen. When Varys tried to tell her, I don't understand why she thought that, this shit was a joke.
So, going back to that scene and that part, so that was Varys trying to get her up out of here. That wasn't Tyrion.
There was a previous episode where Varys had went to her and told her that and she said, and he gave her I think he gave her gold at that point.
Yeah, it was that. That's what I'm saying. That was Varys trying to look out for Tyrion, trying to get up out of there.
Yeah, and then so he had already had a conversation with her once, and now he's going. He's telling Tyrion that she's been seen. Everybody know who she is. She should probably dip out. And Tyrion's like, well, we tried this once. She's not going to do it. She's not going to listen. Tywin and Cersei have plans for Shay. So, at the wedding, we're getting to the wedding, and Cersei, but Shay walks over to Sansa and gives Sansa something. That's when Cersei points her out to Tywin and was like, that's the heifer I've been telling you about. And Tywin is like, all right, well, have her brought up to, my quarters after the wedding or before the wedding. So it's pretty, and Tyrion overheard that as well. So you look on his face. So it's safe to say that point is when Daddy Lannister started dicking down Shay.
Oh, I mean, I guess, yeah, because if she did have her sons up there, it would have been right after Tyrion had his little talk with her.
Like, which is just really the trashest of the trashest, because you've been talking about this dude. You've been categorizing your son as just like this drunk ass, whore, sexing, dwarf mongrel. But you beating down the same ones too. Not only are you beating down whores, you beating down the same whore as your son. Like,
the point. Like, that's just ridiculous.
come on, bro. Come on.
Tywin
Like, at the end of the day, us hearing that obviously was foreshadowing, but then when you see her in his bed later on, it's just like, my bro, really?
So Tyrion tries to push her away, tells her that he can't be with her.
Ain't no try.
True, because she was up in there crying.
Yeah, no, ain't no try. You got to go. You got to go, ho.
Melisandre is out here sacrificing family members, his wife, and Stannis and his crazy ass wife don't even care. And then Shireen, well, I would think that she's met Shireen previously. I would have thought that, but this scene made it seem like it's the first time that she met Shireen. Yeah,
they really into.
It's weird that you have this, red woman running around here all this time, and she's never met your child before.
Some dude is just like, whatever.
He's around. Ain't nobody never seen him before. He ain't. Bran's working into summer.
Hey, we talked about this.
We skipping Bran scenes too?
We said Bran and Sam. Get him out of here.
All right. Cool.
I'm messing with you guys. I'm messing with you guys. Because it is starting to get back to the point where we need to put Bran back in this conversation because he's getting somewhat important again.
He's working on his own accord. He can control it.
Go ahead. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
Okay, no, actually this was important because this scene, Bran he has a vision. And in the vision, he sees snow. He sees snow in the throne room. He sees dragons above Westeros. And in the scene with the dragons above Westeros, there was no snow in Westeros when it flew over. I noticed that. Now, I don't know if that was just we're in season 4. We haven't plotted out season 6 and 7 yet. So maybe winter hadn't had that whole winter is already here, like mindset there. But obviously now we know Westeros is covered in snow, or it's snowing in Westeros. Mm-hmm. So to see a scene where you've got dragons flying over it and there's no snow, that stuck out to me. I don't know if anybody else knows that. But the snow in the throne room scene was also an image that Dany had when she was in the Warlock's Tower. She saw that too when she was walking through there and the throne room and it was snowing through the ceiling. So that's the second time we've seen that image in the show. We'll see what the hell that means later, if anything.
Right. I don't like it because you know how this show does with foreshadowing. I feel like they tend to feed you something seasons earlier and then you just completely forget about it. You're like, oh, okay, well, I seen that. And then something comes to pass and you're like, wait a minute. I remember they talked about this in season 5 and it's season 8 now. I'm just like, oh, okay, nice.
Exactly, because honestly, this is the first time of all the times I've rewatched this that I noticed those visions anyway. Mm-hmm. So, like, I never tied them to anything else. So we'll see what happens. Joffrey and Marjorie get married in the Sept of Baelor. Yay for weddings.
Yay. And then he turns into super dickhead.
Oh my god. Before we get to super dickhead, we get another great scene of old people talking.
Oh yeah. I like their conversations.
Old people ship it. That's shipping the thing. But anyway.
Right. She was in full shit talking mode. Just like the underlying secret shit talking mode. She was like, the what kind of monster line? I was just like, oh, you're just amazing. How you gonna say what kind of monster? And then you was the one that put the little droppity drop in the drink.
Oh, we didn't get that far. Oh no, okay, you're right. No, you're right. No, right.
Yeah, you know what? I'm just hush.
Yeah, when she was talking to them. Yeah, I didn't pick on that previously. Well, I never thought about it until watching it back now. And I was like, oh, wait a minute. Yeah.
Pretty evil. I love it.
Jaime threatens Lancel. And no, not Lancel.
Loras.
He threatens Loras. This was interesting because you got Jamie over there having some feelings about Loras getting ready to marry Cersei, which is nasty.
Yeah, I feel like it was unnecessary because he knew that he didn't want to marry her. Like, no one in these situations wants to get married to the other person. So he's over there threatening him for no reason.
But when Cersei's little dig at Brienne and Jamie saw her talking to Brienne, he was looking like, wait a minute, bitch, what you talking to her for? Like, he knew something in that conversation wasn't copacetic. Like, he knew something was off. Like, Cersei probably said something crazy to her. And he felt some kind of way about that, though. But how is their brother and sister named mad over the possibilities of the other one talking to somebody else is just ridiculous. All
right. I just love to come back. You know how I feel about incest. So I just love to come back. It's like, you'll never have her. It's like, you won't either, Negro.
Yeah, he did.
What's your nasty ass?
And you know, it's so, like, everyone is very clear about the fact that the two of them are fucking around. Like, it's not even a secret.
No. So the fact that, like, Tywin and all these other people acting like we won't have this talk of my family. Like, bruh. Your kid is knocking it down, B. It's gross.
They nasty.
Like, they nasty.
I don't even want to into that situation.
Having little pale, blonde-haired children. Like, y'all nasty.
Wonder, like, how old were they when they started to do that? But no, I don't even want to think about that. Like, I don't even want to get into that. Marjorie has set up to where the food from the wedding was going to go to the homeless people of King's Landing afterwards, or the poorer people.
Yeah, in Flea Bottom.
In Flea Bottom, which was a very nice gesture.
Right.
And, you know, Joffrey, for like 2.5 seconds, obviously had agreed to do something good with his life. For a whole 2 seconds.
He was trying.
Like, the one, and this is the thing that pissed me off about Cersei, because when Cersei obviously a lot of things piss me off about Cersei this day. But she goes behind her back because she's trying to undercut Marjorie by having the food thrown out and fed to the dogs or whatever. But, like, you didn't even take a step back to be like, damn, you know, maybe she could make my son into a decent person, because she also knows the motherfucker's crazy. Like,
she does, but she still she still feels like that's her son, and even though he's crazy and she act like she lost control, it's still Cersei. Like, she really got all the control.
Because, I mean, you tell people that we're going to give them food and Marjorie makes this declaration and then they don't show up, they're going to look like, oh, Marjorie said shit, but she don't do it. So they're not going to think, oh, well, Cersei hadn't doing it. So let's see. Oberyn let Cersei know that her daughter is in Dorne and she's safe and she's happy. But there is a bit of a veiled threat in there, too. Like, there's a little bit of a warning, I feel like, in there, in that conversation with Oberyn.
Yeah, like a change real quickly.
Yep. That's what that unspoken silence definitely was. Then we get the little War of Five Kings show, where the other 5 little people in Westeros, besides Tyrion. So this show offended Loras because they were talking about
his boyfriend,
and making fun of him. Should obviously offended Sansa because they were talking about her dad and her brother.
Mm-hmm. Marjorie, that was her ex-husband.
Offended Marjorie. Obviously offended Tyrion. Try not to little people and you just, you know, making them in the circus acts or whatever. No one was amused by this except for Joffrey.
My notes on this was, fuck the whole wedding scene. I was just waiting on Joffrey to die.
And then the pie comes out. Let's get to the shits. Joffrey gets killed. Joffrey gets murked at his wedding. Asshole to Tyrion. He's been an asshole to Tyrion this whole episode. When he tore up his gift that he gave him, that nice book, when he cut it up with swords.
Oh, that shit went straight through that book too. I forgot about that. That was a super book. That boy did one swing with the Valyrian sword, and it was over.
We just skipped over him getting his sword.
Yes, he got Widow's Wail.
You only had your sword for 13 minutes.
Exactly. Because he died. So his death was like the best thing ever. And obviously now we know where the poison came from. We know where. But I remember originally watching this and thinking, okay, well, did he die? Was he choking because maybe he choked on a piece of the bird that was in the pie?
No, what's crazy is that, like, right after he died, they said, like, 5 times who killed him. And, like, the entire time, the first time I watched Game of Thrones, I didn't know who killed him. People in, like, season, what is it, like 7, when Lady Olenna died?
Yeah.
Yeah, we knew she killed him, and I was like,
well, because she makes a comment to, because she admits it. Like she tells Marjorie.
Yeah, she
Right.
told Marjorie.
I just missed that the first time through.
And when she was like, "You didn't think I would let you, marry that."
Marry that awful creature, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Granny is on it. So yeah, that little fucker's gone, which is great.
Yes, probably the best way for him to die because it was just an extra struggle death. And I needed you to struggle. I needed the bloody eyes.
Bloody eyes. That sucked.
Yeah, just the choking, the little snot bubbles. Yeah, you needed the full on suffer. All the suffering that you've been putting everybody else through, Sansa and Tyrion, and just the whole 9 yards. Yeah, boy, you had to go out. I didn't want that quick death. You don't need to get hit with the one fell swoop of the sword. Nah, I need you to drown. I need you to get poisoned and then somebody throw you in the ocean.
That would have been great.
You need to be dying of poison and drowning at the same time. Very savage like. But just him. It's not many other characters I want to die like that. Like I told you, I have a nice little affinity for Cersei. She has my heart a little bit just for her evilness. Whenever she goes, I don't want her to suffer. Just go and get her up out of here real quick.
Cersei was upset. She's sitting there holding hers. And obviously she again, she has a couple redeeming qualities, a couple good qualities. I call them redeeming. But a couple of qualities you can appreciate about Cersei is that she does love her kids. So she definitely hurts over Joffrey.
She love the kids.
Episode 3, Breaker of Chains. Sansa escapes with the help of Littlefinger and the fool guy.
Sir Dantis.
Everybody's in black. And I realized that this whole busting out black outfits and wearing them like all the time someone dies is a very English thing to do. Because if you watch like old period piece shows like
Downton Abbey.
Yeah. Like Downton Abbey, which I'm making Armani watch. When someone dies, like they wear black for like weeks after.
Okay.
These mourning outfits. I like the Tyrell's outfits. I think they're my favorite outfits.
All that blue and green.
Yeah. Like their stuff. I guess it's the rose pattern that's because it's like all their stuff has like gold roses on it, or like gold flowers, and I think I like that gold kind of the flower patterns.
Like trimming on it.
Mm-hmm. It's real nice. Tommen set to be king. Tommen tells Tommen his brother was a piece of shit as his brother's lying there, which was great. Wishing that more Tywin.
Hey man, he got to sink his claws into the new king.
Yes. And Cersei, with her, this is not the time and the place. Tywin's like, yeah, no, I need to get to this one before you fuck this one up like you did the last one.
Mm-hmm.
Right. One of the things, now, this is the scene that I hate the fucking absolute most in this series.
Yep.
There's a scene in this series. Well, this is the only thing in this series that I still don't. I might need to go back because I didn't do it this time and watch the HBO after show conversation about this because I still don't understand what the fuck was the purpose of this. To me, I hate the aspect of everything that happens after Tommen leaves this room. It was complete utter fucking trash. I hate the HBO writers for doing this. I'm gonna go ahead and say that this was fucking terrible writing. It was a terrible scene. As much as shitty person as Cersei is, this was unfucking necessary.
Right. Like the brother, like when you really break it down about what happened, like the brother sister incest rape next to their incest son's dead body is not okay.
Yeah, and to me, it's just fucked up because you try to run this as Jaime loves Cersei, and which, even though it's incest, I bought it. I was bought into Jaime loves Cersei. He's in love with his sisters. Weird as that fucking is. So why the fuck would he rape her like that? Like, why would he do that right then and there, knowing how much pain she's in? Like, that was so fucking out of character for Jaime. Like
next to her dead son.
Yes, like that to me that was.
I get it that he's been back for the longest and he's been suffering too, and he ain't bust down his sister. But it's just like my G. If there was ever not a time and a place in life, in any facet, time period, or situation in life, that is Literally number one on the list.
Yeah.
Don't rape your sister next to your incestual son's dead body.
Cersei didn't deserve that. She deserves some shit, but she didn't deserve that.
Should have just karate chopped her hand.
Okay, no, this was when Arya and the Hounds were over there trying to teach her lessons and shit.
Mm.
And they meet that guy with the daughter who offers them room and board, and some rabbit stew, which must have been good as fuck because they was murdering that stew. Davos writes to the Iron Bank. This is when we start to really get more of the Iron Bank and its whole funding of shit in the background. Tywin goes to Oberyn for help because they're blaming Tyrion for Joffrey's murder. When the finger, that's, Cersei is convinced it was him. Which that was another thing. It was, well, not. I mean, I guess it is at this point, but he had so many opportunities to kill Joffrey. Like, if he really wanted to kill Joffrey, why would he wait till his wedding day to do it?
How would they not have noticed him do it?
And that's the thing. Like, you're sitting there in front of everybody, and
he was humiliating him in the middle of the wedding.
I'm still trying to figure out when the fuck the poison was put in the cup, to be honest with you. Because Tyrion had the cup. At no time was it really out of anyone's view. So when was this wine poisoned? Like, when you really go back and watch it?
Yeah, like, when did they get that thing off of Sansa's neck? Because the poison was in her necklace.
Allegedly.
Yeah, no, the poison was in her necklace. The poison was in some kind of little drop, something.
I'm just still trying to figure out when the hell it was put in the cup, though. But, hey, whatever. It got the job done. So, Tyrion's, being blamed for it. He's locked up. Tywin goes to Oberyn and asks Oberyn to be a judge on the council, on the trial. Take a seat on the trial, whatever. And Oberyn's like, I really don't like you. You were a part of my sister and her kids getting killed. Why should I do shit for you? He's like, well, hey, you know what? Then maybe we can get justice for people all around or whatever.
Wah, wah.
Yeah, basically. Anyway, the Thins reach a village and they kill and eat the people. These niggas is also nasty. Cannibals. Dany sends a message to the slaves. So she out here freeing more folk in Marine this time. We find Dany and the crew in Marine trying to free some slaves. Get a girl. Season 4.
She let that fire speech off too, though. She real good with the speeches. How you gonna have the speech and tell you like, yeah, like these niggas that y'all with? Nah, they're not cool. Like, I done went from city to city. I need to find the word. I thought I put the word in. You know what I'm saying? Because I can't speak Valerian. But it was like dial or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Free. And then you hit them with the barrels of the chains. Like, yeah.
It was crazy. Yeah, she is strategic and just like, it's almost scary. Like, it's, man, could Dany possibly turn like batshit crazy? Like,
yeah, I'm riding with the theory that she's gonna go crazy in this last season. Like, she's gonna be the Mad King Part 2.
Go crazy? I've been hearing that, but when I tell you, number one heartbreak in the show, she turns heel.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be hurt.
On the list of things already pissed about season 8, including these short episodes.
I'm gonna be hurt if she go full Targaryen. Oh, it's gonna crush my little spirit.
And we don't really know what made the Mad King mad in the first place.
It's gonna be some backstory that freaking Bran tells, like it's in their blood, like something triggers with anger, and then it turns them into a dragon internally or some craziness, and I'm gonna just my little heart. Well, I mean Jon too. Jon gonna go crazy.
You know what? After seeing the length of these episodes, now that I know that they're so short, we ain't got time for
the first two, yeah, but the other ones are,
Wait, what?
80 minutes, 80, 90 minutes.
Okay, say that one more time. What were the episode lengths?
I was saying the first two episodes were normal. They're like 50, I think it was like 54 in like 56 minutes or something like that. But I think episode like 3 was like an hour. It was like 80 minutes. I think the next like 4 episodes for the rest of the season was like between 80 and 90 minutes. So it's just like, all right, we're getting a short movie. basically.
See, I went to it thinking that each episode was gonna be like a good hour, 15 minutes.
Nah, like the last four are. I know the last four are like at least an hour 20. It's between an hour and 20 and an hour and 30. But the first two is like normal episodes. Them shit's just like 55 minutes, 56 minutes.
You know how HBO like to cut that 56 minutes like real like is that 56 minutes including the credits?
Right. Don't play us like that, HBO. Come on.
50 minutes a show.
Yeah. Wouldn't even need like fuck the credits. We don't need no credits. Like, we good. You just give us one opening credit on the first
right.
episode.
Nigga, we know the actors' names. Come on, man. Skip this.
Yeah. Basically, we good.
Give us 2.5 more show. Two and a half more minutes of show.
Exactly. Episode 4 is called Oathkeeper.
Dang, you skip some stuff, bro.
What else was there now?
You skip one not like it's more character switching. I mean, Tyrion told Pod he gotta go. And now Pod is rocking with Brienne.
I saw that episode when he leaves with Brienne.
That was the second one, wasn't it?
Well, no, okay. So at the end of episode 3 is when he tells Pod that you should. Oh no, when Pod had told him that they wanted him to come testify for them,
right?
And he didn't give him an answer yet.
And then he was like, "Yo, you gotta go because they're gonna kill you."
So actually, we're gonna. Okay, was there anything else on episode 3 that you can think of that we missed?
No.
How's it?
Mm-hmm.
All right. So before we jump into episode 4, we're gonna take a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back. This week's episode of the House of Lords podcast has been brought to you by
us.
Yes, it's brought to you by us. So if you would like to help us sustain this podcast and grow this podcast, here's a few great ways you can do so.
You could share the link to our podcast on your social medias. Let it be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, or even MySpace if you're feeling nostalgic.
Yeah, use the hashtag BlurredPod. That's our hashtag. You can join the conversations that we're having. Let us know what you think about the things that we're talking about. On Twitter, you can use the hashtag PodIn. That's a now listening hashtag. Those other people know what you're listening to, as well as a great way to find other podcasts by creators of color. If you want to step it up a little bit and you want to help us out financially, you can check out our Patreon, located at patreon.com/House of Blurreds. We keep it simple. There, you can donate as little as $1 a month, up to even more, whatever you're so inclined to do. There's some great giveaways on there, depending on the different tier levels. Definitely check it out.
Or if you're not too big on commitment, you can visit our PayPal at House of Blurreds, and you can just hit us with a one-time donation because anything counts.
Yes, every dollar counts. Any notes that are left with those donations, be it on Patreon or on PayPal, will be read out on the show. So we'll definitely give you a shout out because we greatly appreciate it. Again, thanks for listening. Now back to the show. 4, Oathkeeper, which is a great name for a sword, by the way. This might be my favorite sword name. Later on, we're going to have to compile a list of the sword names while we're compiling lists of shit, as we tend to do. Miss Andy's teaching Grey Worm how to read. I love this, relationship building between the two of them.
That's Bay right there. That's Bay.
Like, I'm going to be upset. That's going to hurt if she dies. She dies. That will be upsetting to me.
Why would she die, though?
I don't know.
If she dies, Dany dies. She's going to literally be like right by either Dany or Grey Worm's side, which means one of them two is going. Like, if she dies, that means Grey Worm dying, or if she dies, that means Dany dying. I'm pretty sure they'll get Grey Worm out of here before they get Dany out of here.
True. That's actually a pretty good point, because she's always usually close to somebody, so it is pretty safe to say that you're right. If she dies and another major character, he's going to go as well. I ain't even going to drop her name, but you're right. So somebody has to be on.
Speaking of major characters, a quick side note, I had my bracket, but like, we got to redo that bracket that I sent you today. I had all the characters, but their seating was terrible. Like,
we'll work.
Like, I saw your bae was in the 20s, and I was like, all right, come on. Like, the kid got to be at least top 10. Like, Tommen is really a monster on that fighting shit. Like, yeah, I wouldn't want to see him. So you putting them against 20? Like 20? Come on.
Maybe not the dragons, but I mean the direwolves for sure.
Look at him, my bad. Mersande. Well, let me tell you that. Bay and Grey Worm.
So Jamie, the Dovagatti. That's how you say that.
Dolagattis.
are freeing them some slaves.
Yeah, then he had a super plan.
Yo,
Thinking of a master plan.
They rolled up in there mad like stuff. Like I'm like, yo, all you need is them to take over King's Landing, man. Fuck the second sons and everybody else. And Jamie is getting trained with Braun, so he realizes that, you know,
he's gonna have to learn how to fight eventually.
Yeah, with that left hand. You do it with that left hand. Fight with Braun.
How you just gonna skip over the whole rest of that scene? Stop rushing. That's how you just gonna skip over the whole rest of that scene when they took the city and then she put the masters up on them stakes.
That shit looked painful.
That shit kind of cold-blooded. Like,
yeah, which 250 they were about to put on these stakes.
Oh, they did all of them.
Yeah, that's a lot of stakes. It wasn't even like when you look at the mile markers when they walked up on Marine, they were spread out a little bit. Nah, these weren't spread out. These were like every 10 steps. Tink, 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 tink.
Yeah, they were super close.
It was the new border.
This is the first time we really see Dany giving out justice. And she does what she says she's gonna do. When she says she's gonna do some shit, she does it. So
yeah, she didn't check people a lot of episodes. There's been a lot of checking going on up to this point. She had enough checking. She said enough. Take these niggas down. You gonna kill kids, boy? All right, I got something for you.
I mean, she had a very fucking valid point though. Like that, you they was hanging kids up on the damn post. That's crazy.
You was hanging kids? Okay, I got something for you guys. It's pretty real.
Jamie training, and he gets smacked with his own gold hand. It's Tyrion down there in the cells, and they discuss Tyrion's impending fate. Basically, yeah, they had that conversation. Like, of course, I wouldn't have killed your son. Get him to kill my brother. Yeah, that was cute. We get Sansa and Littlefinger.
Just the more and more the show goes on, the more and more I realize how much I really started to not like that dude.
You started to like who?
I just started to really not like that dude. I didn't really pay attention to how much I didn't like Littlefinger until this current rewatch. I was like, man, I really didn't like this dude.
Yeah, he became grimier and grimier, and the more you watch it, the more you dislike him. You're just like, he's a straight piece of shit. Like, everything he did was just, like, mad manipulative, and he was a terrible person. One of the top 5 worst people. Top 5 most terrible people on the show, for sure.
Top 5.
He's definitely in the top 5. He's got to be number 1.
Yeah, because I think this is the episode that solidified that basically everything that happened so far in this show was his fault.
Nope, that was the next episode. That was when they get to
the Eyrie.
That's when they get to Eyrie, and him and his crazy baby talking. But this is when he tells her, you know, always keep your foes confused. Don't let them know what you're doing. You know, the man with no motive is the least likely suspect for some shit. You know, Sansa is getting all these gems, like all these things are being given to her and being taught to her in pretty painful, stressful ways.
Yeah, like in the most traumatic ways possible.
Yes, she's getting these lessons. But damn it if they don't all come to fucking, like, together at the end. Like, because that shit showing up came together in season 7. When we really get to
season 6, really.
All this came together.
Season 7 for sure. But season 6, you can start really seeing her piece together, like, her strengths. Like, you know what? Hey, I've been through some shit. Now I'm about to show y'all what I can do.
Exactly. So Lady Olenna knows she wasn't going to let Joffrey marry Marge. So this is when she tells Marjorie that she was involved in Joffrey's death. So season 4, episode 4 is when we get that confirmation that Lady Olenna was involved. And it was kind of a slight thing. So yeah, I guess if you weren't paying attention, then you definitely could have missed it.
Mm-hmm.
You think I'm gonna let you marry this dude? Oh, nah, you sleep. Gotta get him up out of here. Get him up out of here. Sorry, I'm still kind of happy about that.
Back in the North End, Jon's trying to train the guys at the Wall, and the new Lord Commander's an asshole. What the hell was the Lord Commander's name? What's his name? Dude's current Lord Commander.
Sir Alistair.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Asshole. Go on.
I mean, we can change his name. It doesn't have to be Alistair. It could be asshole. Or we could say Sir Alistair, the asshole. There you
Boom.
go.
There it
Alliteration.
is. And this is when, now, because I'm actually paying attention, we see Bruce Bolton's guy is also at the wall. So his little planted spy is there that he put in with the Night's Watch to find John and kill him. Well, one, to find John to see if John knows where his brothers are, and then to get rid of all of the above, if possible. Oh, this is when Jamie had went to go see Tyrion, and seriously was like, "Yeah, I know he went down there." And he's like, "Well, he's my brother." He's like, "Yeah." So Tommen has Joffrey's old room. Who cleaned up Roz's body? This is what I was thinking when I was watching this. I was like, "Yo, who ended up having to go in there and clean up Roz after Joffrey did that shit to her?" I mean, obviously it's been cleaned up for a while now, but could you imagine the fucking person on staff that has to go in there and clean up that kind of shit? Like,
hey, clean up on aisle 6. What happened? Somebody spilled some juice. Clean up on aisle 3. Hey, somebody dropped a bag of flour. Clean up on aisle 6. What you got? A whole dead body with 7 arrows in it. Yeah, go handle that. Unstrap the hands and then clean up the mess.
I mean, it was definitely probably a 2-person job. So there's no doubt that everyone had to know how sadistic this kid was. Because whoever cleaned up that body, they definitely went back and talked. Like, they told their friends.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go back to ages, though. How old was he when he died?
So Sansa, 14, 15 point.
So that's how old Joffrey was, 14, 15?
Yeah, we're going to go with that. Which also brings me to a later scene in this of how old is Tommen?
It's probably like 11.
And he's got to marry Marjorie.
Who was like 19 at this point.
Yeah, we're going to assume she's older than Joffrey for sure.
Right. Stone me off. You got these real life 20-something-year-old characters and shit.
No, I'm curious.
Playing teenagers.
Tommen meets Sir Pounce. And I love that name.
We meet Sir Pounce. Sound like a cat person. We meet Sir Pounce.
That is the cutest thing ever.
You just said we meet Sir Pounce like Sir Pounce is an actual character in the show. Like he's Goose from Captain Marvel.
16. Marjorie's 16 this.
And how old was Simon?
Armani is Savon.
Ha! I got it late just because I was looking at my phone.
I figured you could get it.
Hey, Savon the hey, go look up. I'm mad that he not the Don. He ain't been a Don for like a month and a half now. Savon the dude. You ain't listened to the last 4 podcasts?
Yeah, I did.
Yo, Savon's definitely the dude right now. He's Savon the duh for like 3 weeks. Now he's the dude.
He's 10. Tommen is 10.
Oh, okay. The 16-year-old and 10. The king of Westeros is
10-year-old.
That's why she in there. For real, she in there really manipulating the 10-year-old early too. Like, don't listen to your mama.
Everyone
realized your life
early.
I'm gonna give you some booty. Your mom don't need to know about none of this.
Can we talk about the child was being groomed? Like, I guess since again, it's a fantasy show. We know how bad Joffrey was, so it was an attempt to have him not end up like Joffrey. So I get it. But at the end of the day, the child was being groomed. Crazy.
Regardless, it was not okay.
Yeah, no. So, we found out that Jamie was 16 when he joined the Knight's Guard, the King's Guard. He
16? Nigga, you at least 30.
We've been doing this for a minute. Well,
no, he's 40. He's 40.
Because Cersei says she's been queen for 20 years. And if he was 16 when he joined the King's Guard, and that was under Targaryen.
4 years? For 4 years, he was a King's Guard. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
they're 40.
That makes sense.
Oh.
So, if Cersei is 40, and Lancel is 16 at this point.
Oh,
Loras?
Jesus.
Yeah, Loras. Lancel probably 16 too.
Just incest and old people marrying teenagers and
yeah. Ooh, let's not put any more ages on shit. Let's
and women on women, men on men. Just like, yo, what y'all doing, bro? Y'all doing the most. We don't gotta, you know what I'm saying? We don't gotta be in here killing babies and brothels and stuff like that. Like we don't need to be doing all of this, B. Y'all doing a lot. Looking for kings, murking kids. What?
For reals. So Jamie tasked Brienne with going and taking care of Sansa. Find her, take care of her. And he gives her his sword, and she names it Oathkeeper. The way they were looking at each other in this scene, I was like, oh.
Oh, you should have thuggy? You should have thuggy? You really want them to be together. You said that entirely too much.
That ship we're never gonna get to see. We know it's never gonna happen.
You want them to have their moment. Like,
yes.
Just toning it down in the streets. You know what I'm saying? Or my bad, not the streets, because no streets. Toning it down in the roads. One bust down scene before he go murk Cersei. Like, or he busted down and he realized, like, this is way better than Cersei. I'm about to go kill her. She's so evil. I'm about to go kill her.
I don't need her anymore. I've got Brienne.
Right. I got my 6'5". Yeah, she ain't no 6 foot. There's a difference between 6 foot and 6'5". You gotta get 6'5" that credit.
The thing is, you know, it's gonna get mad, Tormund. And then we're gonna see Tormund with Jamie ass over Brienne. That would be hilarious.
Oh yeah, I forgot. See, I feel bad for Tormund though, because clearly she got love for Jamie. Like Tormund, the dude that like he trying to get her, but she like somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
You got to be mad. Feel bad for the homie, because he ain't never gonna get her.
Well, you know, we know Jamie gonna die, so I mean,
maybe after.
If they do like kind of a fast forward into after shit goes down, I can see them.
That's only 6 episodes. Ain't no fast forward.
Yeah. Okay. I'm not gonna speculate on how it's gonna end, but so they send Pod with Bran. They make him her squire to get him out of town to keep him safe. This is one goofy ass looking motherfucker sometimes. He is like the goofiest faces ever. But he's so cute and so innocent. Like he's just so Pod. Like this is what he is.
Right. Oh, and you know he gonna die too.
I found it another kind of, I guess, sense of symmetry that seems to be happening in the show every once in a while. I start to catch some things. So at this point, Bran had saved Jamie. Like Bran was with Jamie. Bronn was with Tyrion. They've now like switched partners. So Bronn is now with Jamie, and Brienne ends up with Tyrion. Season 7, she ends up with Tyrion. Like they end up on the same side of things. You get Bronn saving Jamie's life when shit went haywire with the dragon and shit like that later on, like season 6, season 7 somewhere. So we would assume that Bran's probably gonna be saving Tyrion's life at some point, because they're gonna all be in battle together up at Winterfell. So Jon wants to go fight some wildlings, and he asks who wants to join the Avengers.
Stupid.
Putting together a super squad. And of course, the mole goes. We get back to Craster's Keep. And that really dawned on me. All this fucking time, Ghost has been in a cage at Craster's Keep. Jon been out here running around with wildlings, making, having a good old time when he grit. And his fucking direwolf's been locked up.
Hey man, you rocking with your wildling busting down, or you rocking with your direwolf?
Right. These niggas ain't loyal. Yeah, that's where we find out where Ghost has been all this time. We also get to see in this scene like how big Ghost looks.
That boy's a monster.
Of course, they use CGI to make these direwolves look big as shit. But when you see the size of Ghost, and you remember he was the runt of the
damn litter.
That's the only reason he survived. Production could. It costs less to get, but you still got the idea across. Yeah. If he's got a pretty big wolf. So you'd be like, this was the smaller one. So just imagine bigger.
So, I feel like Grey One should have been way fucking bigger than he was.
We see how big Nymeria was.
Some time has passed since Robb died.
Nymeria was a monster. There was mad other wolves out there, and then she rolled up, and it was like, yo. Who brought the grizzly bear to the fight?
He did look big as fuck. I'm really hoping we get to see her again at some point. That'd be dope. Although I feel like that might have been we've been wondering where Nymeria is, and that might have just been the here you go, people. Stop asking us where the fuck she's at. Here she is, and she's gone.
Oh, so you hoping for the
asking questions.
She hoping for the
I'm hoping she jumped the fuck out of some flames, jumped through some flames.
Nah, but that's what I'm saying. What's the movie? What's the Twilight? You hoping for that final Twilight scene when it was like 79 wolves that just ran out the woods and they just started killing everybody?
Yes, come through, Jacob.
That's what you want?
Yes, that's what I want. Now, am I gonna give it a award? Probably not. But
I ain't gonna lie, that'd be kind of dope. It's like all hope is lost, and then 50 wolves just run out and start eating everybody, and then the grizzly bear dire wolf just comes in, watching everybody eat everybody like she the boss. Yeah, I'm gonna say John Lee. I'm gonna say John Lee first.
Bran, yeah, the whole idea of sending just random fucking thieves and rapists to the wall to be part of the Night's Watch,
Kind of whack.
Seems like it's a good idea, but it's really not, because these motherfuckers are legitimate fucking psychopaths and sociopaths and crazy people. And
yeah, and it's like, what's stopping them from like teaming up and
which is what they did. And they've got head captain crazy out there fucking drinking wine out of what's his face?
Mormont's head.
Yeah, Jorah Mormont's skull, which clearly he took the time to fucking clean off. Okay, this goes back to the question of when the Night King turns babies into White Walkers, do they grow? Because what the fuck is the use of a baby midget army? They can't even walk.
Whatever. That baby midget army is indestructible.
They using them as bombs. They throwing them at people.
Right. Only thing that can kill them things is Valyrian steel and dragon glass and fire. So if I shoot you in the head with an arrow and you get up and keep charging at me, all that baby gotta do is bite a foot. It's over for me.
That's it. So he's like throwing them in, like, put them in barrels. Catapult.
Right. They bust out the barrel and just bite your ankle. Job done. You done now.
Oh my god! But these babies they have to age. They have to be aging at all. Yeah, we have this. They're aging at some point, so they're not zombies necessarily. They're not like dead.
Oh, they zombies.
Some of these White Walkers are people who were killed and then reanimated, though.
Right? Do they grow and then their body starts deteriorating?
Maybe that's what happens because
or maybe he's doing this to all of these babies, and then you're gonna find out in like season 8, episode like 2, that he's got like a grown human White Walker army, and they don't look like skeletons. They look like Abercrombie and Fitch models.
See, okay, and that's what I was about to say. That's an interesting point. See, they
just look like regular humans. You got like 1,000 Jon Snows out there with long hair with blue eyes, and now it's over for you.
Exactly, because there's 2 ways people become White Walkers. They either die and come back, or he touches them and they turn in. So the one that he touches and turns into White Walkers, yeah, they're probably, like you said, they're growing up and they be like grown ass men. So Hodor becomes a killer. Need to take out old boy.
Hodor start that boy day clean off.
So John and Bran were like super close. Again. It's like the second time they've been like right in the same space. Episode 5, first of his name, Tommen of House Baratheon, first of his name, King of the Andals,
Lord of the 7 Kingdoms.
Yes.
The ruler of Westeros.
Is king. So, seriously, Marjorie talking.
Punk ass accusing himself. Go ahead.
No, what are you gonna call him punk ass? What was a punk ass?
I was saying he ain't gotta recuse himself. He likes Tyrion.
So Cersei and Marjorie talking on the balcony. This spot again. Once again, Marjorie makes that comment. This is like the 4th or 5th time she had called her. I don't know what's calling you, my sister or my mother. Bitch, didn't last time you said that almost got you slapped, and she gonna say it again.
She's the person keeps retelling her joke. Get more people laugh this time. And maybe I'd try it in a different setting.
Exactly. And Which kind of makes me think the person who wrote this episode watched that previous episode. Like maybe they were new to the crew when this was written because it was like she made these comments before and they didn't go over well before with Cersei. So why would she say it again?
Someone rewrote it.
Dario Nahara is out here stealing boats.
He's trying to impress her so he can get some cheeks.
Well, it works out for him later. We do.
Yeah, sure does. Sure does.
So
and she had an epiphany though. She was like, you know what? Everywhere I've been ruling ain't rocking right now. Or everywhere I've taken over and freed people, it ain't working the way I wanted to. So let me chill out real quick.
Slow down.
Let me rule the right way 5 times fast. Jesus. Let me rule the right way and make sure my rule is sustained and not just getting overthrown and turning over as soon as I slide.
And that was, again, another smart decision on her part. Like, that was some very good thinking. Like, wait a minute, I can't just be running up in places, freeing slaves and fucking taking off. So, she's going to slow down and she's going to rule Slaver's Bay. Sansa arrives at her crazy-ass aunt's house. She meets her cousin Robin, who, although this kid was a bit off, the one thing I will say is, though, his mom didn't hide shit from him. Like, she sure told him, like, this is your cousin Sansa, but you can't call it that in front of anybody else. Like, Robin was in on the jig. Like, he knew what was going on. So, no. I'll say, Liza the only good parent on this show?
But she didn't lie to him.
Yeah, it's because she didn't lie to her kid. Like, she kept him in the fold. Like, you know what was going on. To an extent.
He chose to be a part of these shenanigans.
Littlefinger, this is when we learn that Littlefinger had Liza poison Jon Arryn. And this is when we learn just how much of a piece of shit Littlefinger really was. And it's his fucking fault. And the fact that Liza, like, went along with sending Kat that letter to, like, blame, like, you asked me a question, like, how did that conversation go? Like, what was the end game? Like, okay, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to kill your husband, and then we're going to send a letter to Ned or to your sister and tell her that it was because of the Lannisters that he died. And then what? Like, what was the plan? I understand getting your husband out the way because then, you know, then we can be together. But what the fuck was the reason to get Cat and him involved?
Indeed. I didn't think about it like that.
Because I doubt he planned for Cat to get killed. So it's like, what was he actually? Maybe he was trying to get Ned out the way. That was his goal, to get Ned killed. But he didn't exactly know how to stop it after that.
Out of control snowball. Let's see. Cersei goes to her dad about marrying Marjorie. So she actually did what she said she was going to do because she said she was going to go talk to her dad. And see, I know damn well that she didn't believe that Marjorie didn't still want to be queen. When Marjorie had said that, she kind of looked at her like, are you serious? Cersei, at that point, did not lose all her street smarts.
Not even a little bit.
So, again, I don't think the person who wrote this episode watched any other episode of Game of Thrones. Proud.
Like, we're going to give you a general idea and you just write from there.
Basically.
No, I don't really realize, no, just watching again more and more, just rewatch on the rewatch tip. Just how much you really gravitate towards some characters and other ones you just put to the side. You know what I mean? Just the characters you really, really, really enjoy.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it was way worse than The Walking Dead to me. Like, I wanted to, like, go in the kitchen and start grabbing things out of the kitchen when, like, certain character scenes were on. I would just like, yeah, I'm done. When you get back to Abraham and, you know what I'm saying, and all these other cats, like, holla at me. When you get back to Michonne and, you know, like, just other people, I was just like, yeah. But, you know, I obviously be clowning about Brandon saying, but just like, you gravitate so much more to, like, Dany and Arya scenes and, like, obviously Arya and the Hound's relationship and just everyone else. I'm just not, I really feel like I'm good. Like, give me 27 to 28 minutes an episode and I'm good. The rest I could really fast forward through. Like, even if I didn't see,
yeah,
if this wasn't my third or fourth rewatch, like, in my head watching the show, I could fast forward through a few other character scenes.
Yeah, you start to realize you start to weed out the definite filler episodes and the filler scenes in those episodes, and you're just like, all right, I could have done without all this shit and these people. I feel you. It doesn't make sense. Arya and the Hound. We get back to Arya and the Hound. The Hound stole the dude's money after they ate his rabbit soup. I mean, this is one of them situations where you're like, okay, the Hound had a point. Like, the dude was going to be dead by winter. He was too nice. He wasn't going to be able to survive. Somebody's going to come kill him. Or somebody's going to take his shit. So why not them and put it to use? And then we get Arya's updated list, which includes Joffrey, Cersei, Meryn Trant, Tywin Lannister, the Red Woman, Beric Dondarrion's made it on the list. Who was Ruth of Myr? She said something. It sounded like a Ruth of Myr or something. It was Ruth somebody. It wasn't Ruth.
Ruth Bolton?
No, it wasn't Ruth Bolton. But it was somebody else on that list that come on, can you Google Arya's list? Let's see who's actually on there.
Hey, say mine.
Ellen Payne, yeah. Pull up Arya's list and then read it to yourself. Ellen Payne and then the Hound was the last.
Such a savage move, man. Just
yeah, she's like, I only got one more name. He's like, get on with it.
Then rolled over, turned her back. Then I'm gonna name you, nigga. What you did?
He popped his head up, looking shook as shit.
I was like, oh shit. That nigga's gonna name me. My bad.
Like, what I do to you? I'm out here trying to help you.
Yeah, I tried to get you back to camp to your mom's. You know, I'm on the way to take you to your aunt. Like, what's up, man? I'm on your team.
Liza shows Sansa her true crazy.
Yeah. Yikes.
Let's see. Pod can't ride a horse. We discovered that. That shit, that's a really well-trained horse. Like, watching that back, I'm like, because how awkward he was on that horse, and, like, he kept kicking it. I'm like, those are some well-trained ass animals that they got on this ship.
To get kicked and then not take off.
Yes. Or to fucking buck his ass off air. Like, if you don't sit the fuck still. Like, because he was all shaky and shit like that. But, so Arya practiced her water dancing. She goes to actually stab the Hound, and he smacks her.
Oh, super backhand. Super backhand.
Because maybe he'll beat somebody's kid's ass if they get out of line.
Hey, man, but you over here talking her down, talking about my fam. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, she legit, like, was going to stab him. And I think, obviously, he realized it because that's why he slapped her. Because, like, if he didn't have that armor on.
Right, he was like, hold up.
Jon reunites with Ghost. And Craftsman's women go solo. Like, now we got...
Seven house. What is that? What does that even mean? Seven house. Come here.
He almost started saying that. I said, what the fuck? Seven hells.
That's literally what that means. I mean, like, everybody was shook. You know what I'm saying? Jon. And then he just, seven house.
You find that list, everybody?
Oh, yeah. I've been found the list.
Oh, you just said so.
Come on, say the duh.
Her list was Joffrey, Cersei, Walder Frey, Tywin Lannister, the Red Woman, Beric Dondarrion, Thoros, and Ellen Payne.
Who is Thoros?
Thoros is the one that brought Beric Dondarrion back.
Yeah, Thoros from there.
He's the one that had the bun on top of his head.
No, it's stupid.
Yo, his bun. You're right. Be with the bun. All right. Season 4, episode 6. Laws of God. Wait, were we doing episode 6?
No, we're not doing
it. We weren't. I mean, I got notes on it, but we weren't scheduled. That wasn't on the schedule.
That wasn't on the docket.
It was not on the docket.
All right, well, to recap. We got Joffrey the fuck out of here.
Got him the fuck out of here. Bye, Joffrey. We're not gonna miss you. Bye-bye.
Tommen is the new king. We found out where the fuck Ghost's been at. Arya and the Hound's relationship is getting complicated.
And she want to kill him.
And
Tyrion's on trial.
Yeah, Tyrion's on trial for his life. Yeah, I can fight for his life. Next episode, we will cover episode...
On the next episode of Dragon Ball Z.
We'll be covering episodes 6, 7, 8, and 9. How many episodes are there in this season?
10. It's 10 every season until season 7.
You want to just
we can knock it out if y'all trying to knock it out.
Yeah. Let's get this season the fuck up out of here. So we'll wrap up season 4, the next episode of the podcast.
Yeah, that's right.
So until next time, take care of yourselves and be good to each other.